Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is I Love You, Say It Back. It's the podcast. I'm your host, Vic D. On the Thursday, turn me up. Yeah, buddy. All right, it's enough of that. Turn it on down. I'm getting sick of it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is I Love You, Say It Back. It's the podcast. I'm your host, Vic D. Today is our final show in October, Thursday, October 30th, 2025. And yeah, I'm starting to feel the pressure of enjoying every minute of October, now November, December coming up. Oh my goodness. Actually, feeling a little burnt out lately. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I have a couple things to say on that because I think this doesn't happen to me often. It really doesn't. I'm very lucky that I get to do what I love and I love what I do. And burnout, when I start to feel it, like I know it's for a couple of reasons, and maybe some of you guys will feel the same thing. But we'll talk about that coming up. We got a fun show. It is our Halloween, kind of our Halloween show. I was supposed to be in a costume, but that didn't happen. I'm not good. Like I've talked about, I'm not good at these. I've never been good at costumes. I've never been good at Halloween costumes. I've never been good at all that stuff. And I thought I was you know what? Maybe it's something I need to work on to get better on. It's just that's just not me. I'm good at other things. I'm good at other things, and I'm just we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do something for Halloween for my nephews, but let's get into the show. Before we actually do, I want to remind you guys, please subscribe. If you are listening on Spotify, Apple, wherever you're listening to the podcast, hit that subscribe button. Same thing on YouTube. We're climbing up that, getting some more subscribers on there. So jump over, watch the entire episode. It's a lot of fun on there too. Follow us on socials at ILY Say It Back Pod on Instagram. I'm at Vic T Radio. And make sure you subscribe because we do drop our Sunday podcast, and you got to make sure you keep up with every time that we drop something. It's kind of cool. You get the little notification to your phone. So if you haven't done that, jump over, get in, subscribe, and let's get into it. I guess by the time most of you guys listen to it, it's going to be Thursday. That's when we get our big download day. But then we still get pretty good downloads the following day after we drop it. But it's Halloween. I'm not a big Halloween dresser upper, but I will admit that I love Halloween vibes. I love the scary movie vibes. I love the pumpkins. I love the pumpkin patches. I love the costumes. I'm not good at it, but I love it. I love seeing the creative ones. Although now it's hard to find a good creative Halloween costume. Years ago, the one I was most proud of, one year, John Mayer dropped an album, and it was I forgot what the album was called, or maybe it's just a song he dropped. But anyways, he had a really retro vibe to it, and it was a purple faded hoodie, and I was able to recreate that. And that was my peak Halloween. That was my peak Halloween costume idea. I threw everything I had into it. I had help. I had spray paint. The whole 9 yards. And I was like, I can't top this, so why even try? I was John Mayer. And honestly, I kind of crushed that Halloween costume. So I guess I'm good when I decided I want to lock in, but I can't do the firefighter thing. I can't dress up as a cop. I was Troy Polamalu a couple years ago. That was terrible because I had short hair. For those of you guys unfamiliar, Troy Polamalu, he's a football player. The reason I love the Pittsburgh Steelers. But yeah, Halloween. Happy Halloween. Excited to see what you guys' kids' costumes. Fun fact, for Halloween when I was little, and I'm not joking, probably since the first time that I could ever remember me being maybe 4 or 5 years old to the time that I was maybe I don't know, when was the last time that I really got dressed up? I don't know, 12, 13, 14, couldn't tell you. But the entire time, all I ever wanted to do was be a pirate. All I ever was, and my mom would ask me, what do you want to be? I was like, I want to be a pirate. Quiero ser pirata. I want to be a pirate. I think pirates are sick. But anyways, so that was my Halloween costume um, kind of story. I'm not good at it anymore. But there's gonna be a year where something happens. There's some inspo. There's something that goes viral. There's something that happens, and I'll probably do it again. It's just again, I can't do the police officer. I can't do the firefighter. I can't be the UPS worker. For some reason, it just feels bland. There's gonna be 8 of us at this party that are all having the same costume. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Unless it's some kind of original idea or something unique, not even original, but just something more unique or funny, I'm in for it. But I don't know. Everybody's different when it comes to that stuff. But there's going to be a lot of trick or treating going on. There's a lot of great candy that's going to be handed out. Folks, there's a lot of candy that you're just going to like look at and be like, ugh. First of all, they're still making this. Second of all, you're going to be like, that's for the kids. Your kids, and my nephews are at an age right now where they're just like, this is candy. And you give it to them and they're excited no matter what it is. But we put together a list of the top 5. We're power ranking the top 5 worst Halloween candies. The kind of candies that you just kind of look at and you're just like, kids will eat this. Just put it off to the side. And there's a lot of them on here, but here's my top 5. Kicking us off at number 5, anything that's coconut. Coconut candy is disgusting. Honestly, a lot of things that are coconut, just in general, are disgusting. Not very good. Coconut, the little shavings are just gross. Even the name, well, like, why would you got coconut shavings? Like, sounds kind of dirty. This is kind of a dual one. Dots or Red Hots. Red Hots are that cinnamon. It's almost like kind of spicy. You're like, Red Dots, cinnamon candy that's kind of spicy, that has a weird, like, who the hell's into this? Who made it and put it out for production and put it out for samples? Because this stuff filters through, like, I'm assuming hundreds of people before they put it out in stores. They got to do sample testing and all this stuff. You're like, wait, who approved this? Who's the freak that was like, put a little bit of cinnamon in this for the little children? Put a little spice in it. Get the hell out of here. Dots are just boring, weird texture. I don't know. I just can't do it. But they're combined into one. Number 3. This one's kind of going to be almost like an unpopular opinion. But number 3, I have Smarties. Smarties have never done it for me. Smarties have always been gross to me. Smarties make your mouth dry. And I'm not sure how that's possible with candy. You eat it and you're just like biting chalk. Like, I'm pretty sure you could use it as chalk. Number 2, candy corn. Candy corn's controversial every year this year. It's not good. You put up with it because it's decorative, because it looks like little, look, I'm eating little fangs. Put them in my mouth. Like, it's topical because it's Halloween. Doesn't mean it's good. The only way to consume it, my nephew's, one of them, like, loves it. Noah loves it. But he even nibbles on it, like, maybe in, like, little bits and pieces. But you put a whole one in your mouth and you're ruining your whole day. And the whole day is just gone. And the number 1, I think we can all agree, not just Halloween candy, but like candy in general. Let me go back to what I was talking about a second ago. Who approved this? This went through people who said yes, 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 yes. Definitely more yeses than nos. Black licorice. Well, like, why? Licorice in general is actually not terrible. Like the Twizzlers licorice, I think they're the same thing. I don't know. But the black licorice has this, how do you even describe what licorice is? Black licorice. It's like minty, tarry. Like, I couldn't even describe it. Black licorice, by far, easy number 1. Absolutely disgusting. The kind that you just kind of get, you kind of put it off to the side. You're like, this is the good stuff. Here's the Jolly Ranchers and the Starburst and the Skittles. And here's over there. If you go to the store and get Almond Joys, you're an asshole. I was talking about, when I started the show, I was talking about this. Like, this is just me more like talking about like this doesn't happen to me often, but maybe some of you guys, I don't know if it's I truly couldn't tell you what it is, but I'm not gonna lie, like I'm burnt out as hell. I don't know if it's because this week I feel like my sleeping's been just way off, just terrible. Like it's and this happens every so often. I'm not a stranger to bad sleep, but I can still manage to kind of make good weeks out of even days and nights that I have like terrible sleep. But this week I don't know if I just put too much on my plate at once. And I know, listen, busy is good. When you do what we do here, busy is good. Being here, having to be there, having to be over here, being over. But then you put out a lot on your plate and you're happy to do so. Again, let me repeat this. This doesn't happen often. I love what I do. But just because you love what you do doesn't mean that you can't get burnt out or tired of it. And it's funny, for me, being burnt out shows up in different ways, like lack of inspiration, lack of creativity, lack of uh where is it? I even wrote it down. Lack of where is it? Oh, motivation, inspiration, creativity. Those are the three things. And maybe for you, it shows up a little bit different. And I know burnout's like a real thing. Like you grind so hard. And here's the other part. I'm gonna tell you this. And this is why this particular week I feel like I've been losing sleep. So there's certain things about this podcast that I do, and again, most of everything we do, I do myself. And it feels like you're kind of on a hamster wheel. And what I mean by that is it feels like even when you have a goal, like I have a goal of things that I need to get done to do the podcast, to write the podcast, to produce the podcast, to record the podcast, then to promote it, then to cut the videos. There's a whole like folks, when you do anything in social media, you don't pay for people to record you. You don't pay for people blah blah blah. You pay for the editing, the cutting, the every single clip and reel that you see. There's tons of time that goes into that. And if you want it to be yours, right? Like I know there's AI out there that helps. I've tried it and I've yet to find something that I truly love, because then it doesn't make it. There's things that I'm like, I love this clip, or I love this reel, or I love this piece that we talked about, but then it leaves out certain things that I love. So I just kind of take it back into my own hands, and I'm like either cleaning it up, double the time of the process. But I guess what I'm getting at, it feels like the work of it never ends. So like, let's say I have, okay, for tonight's episode, I want to do blank and blank and blank. And I finish that. And not only do I finish it, but I finish it in a timely manner. This happened on Monday. And I think that's where it just fucked up my whole week. It started on Monday. I did everything like on time and I finished early. And I was so happy. I was so proud. I was like, yes, I got this many videos done. And then I'm scheduling them for blank time, and then this time, and then this time. And I was happy. You know what ended up happening? Instead of being relaxed and at home and being like, oh, I could put on a movie, go for a run, finish my night early, blah, blah, blah. All I could think about is now I'm sitting here watching TV and I'm like, why not get ahead? Why not do more? Why not make another video? Why not get double ahead? What? So it's like, it feels like no matter how far ahead you get, you feel like I should be doing more and I could be doing more. And it's a good thing. And I think you have to have that kind of mentality to be successful, not just in this, but in a lot of things. But that doesn't mean that when you're doing it alone, when you're doing every step of the process alone, it doesn't kind of catch up to you every once in a while where you're like, damn, like it feels like you're never done. It feels like you're never like, you can never have a moment where, like, imagine a lot of you guys work your 9 to 5, right? Or your 8 to 5, whatever it is. And then you're like, okay, one more hour left, 5 o'clock. And then you feel a sense of accomplishment at 5 where you're like, exhale, done. My day's done. Pick it up again tomorrow. I never feel that. And I haven't felt it in a long time. And I think this week with the lack of sleep, I kind of felt demoralized when I got ahead and tried something new, and then it ended up being worse. I was like, yeah, I get more anxiety doing this. I just can't sleep early. People are like, you don't try it. It just, I don't think people understand. Like when you try different things and it ends up worse, you're like, ooh, kind of a scary thing, but I got to be better. And you know what's funny? Two things I'm going to say on this. I don't know if I should do more or if I should just be like, you know what? You got to be able to take a day or two to like just totally like leave this, because the anxiety of not doing anything is worse. But then if I do more, then I'm going to be like, I want to do even more than that. So I don't know. I'm trying to navigate these waters, and I don't really have people that I can talk to about this. I mean, I do, but they are all have like normal lives, you know, like normal schedules and things like that. So it's like, I think sometimes it's a little bit hard to relate, but luckily I have a podcast that I can talk into and I can talk to you guys about it. And maybe the one out of, I don't know, 100 people, 200, 300, 400 relate to this, but I'm talking to the one who is. And you don't need to have a podcast to relate to this. This can apply to, I think, any business, you know, like any business that you're trying to start up, you in a meat market or something, you're going to be like, well, I could be doing more. I could be doing more. And you want to get so much more ahead. And you're just like, then you get ahead and you're like, well, why not more? The lack of sleep is kind of caught up to me. And again, it's only bad because I feel like I don't feel like as creative. I'm yawning in the studio. I don't feel as motivated, and I feel like that's the one thing I always bring to the table. But hopefully this is a different thing that we're bringing to the table. And you know what? Frankly, like, let's have this conversation. I really do believe that there's part of the internet that is kind of exhausting. Political internet, political posts, political personalities. I'm not hating what you do, because I know what you do makes a lot of money. And I can sit here and tell you, hey, I'm a full-time, big-time Republican, or I'm a big-time or full-time Democrat. And when you pick one of those sides, you go down a road that is very divisive, but it's lucrative. There's a reason why Fox News does what they do. There's a reason why the other outlets that are more liberal do what they do. There's money in politics. But when you're a person who's like, I think both sides are really effed up in a lot of ways, what tends to end up happening is you kind of see things on a bigger spectrum. And you realize how things are created to keep us divided. And I'll give you a good example. There's been this whole thing with this government shutdown. People aren't getting their SNAP benefits. They aren't getting their benefits of SNAP for food. And, there's a lot of people. Then there's videos that come out, and it's basically people saying like, we're going to storm Walmart. We're going to steal our food, because one thing that's not going to happen is I'm not going to go hungry. And yeah, the videos are repulsive. You're blatantly coming on here telling me that you are going to go steal food from Walmart, from this place or that place. Okay. But then I'm not even like, those are designed to stir you up. So then everybody on the other side, and I hate even decide, like, we're a freaking country. We're one, but we talk about like, but then this side of it, as in like, but the way that we're divided by politics is so fucking disgusting and gross to me. But we're like, when one side refers to the other, but then the liberals think that you got to do this, and then the others are like, then the Republicans, then the left has got to say this, and then the right has got to say that. It's like they talk about it like they're from another world or another freaking, like they're aliens. And it's like, but the point that I'm getting at is, I know we're designed to be divided because people will take an extreme, right? And there's extremes on both sides. We'll take an extreme and say this represents your entire belief system. these people who are stealing from Walmart, these people who are doing this represents everyone on your side. And then you get the people who take the other side and pick out the extremes on the other side and say, look at what you guys are the people who represent this. And it's like, if we take both extremes and then say that this is, and I'll give you another example. Remember when Charlie Kirk passed? And there was people who were celebrating, and there was people who were, saying like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy he died. Like whatever it was, they were celebrating his death. People who are conservative were pissed off, and that was like 0.0001% of the extremes, right? So it's like they're more liberal, and so what they did is they picked those people who were celebrating his death. Although every single one of the people that I know that is more liberal was saying like, that's a terrible thing, you should not be celebrating it. But they didn't look at those people. What they did is they picked the extremes, the one who were celebrating. But those people are wrong. And I think we all acknowledge that those people are wrong, but what they wanted to do was divide. They said, look at you. You guys are supposed to be the more empathetic, the more accepting and loving, right? We were supposed to represent like love and all this. And they're picking out the extremes and saying, this represents all of you guys. Then we're picking the other side and saying, this represents all of you guys. And you know what that does? It divides us even more. Even though we're way more in common with everything than you guys want to believe, we're picking the extremes, and they love that. Because divided, we're weak. United, we're stronger. So what do they want? They want us to be more divided. And that, along with everything else that I think is going on, I don't know. Maybe that's part of the reason what kind of takes your toll, gets exhausting. And what's crazy is I don't even have a political feed. My stuff is all goofy stuff. I get funny, like, all the things that me and my friends send each other, nothing has to do with like politics. I don't get Trump shit. Definitely sure as hell don't get Trump shit. I don't get the extreme on the other side shit. But the thing is that both sides have really fucked up parts about them. So when you're picking out those things and saying, hey, this effed up part is what you're representing, it's like, no. Don't pick the bad things and say this is what represents each side. We have a lot more in common, but that doesn't sell. That doesn't divide us. They want us divided, and it's gross, but everybody just keeps falling into it. So all you people that are talking politics online and you think you're a fucking genius, you're a fucking idiot. Politics online is just so stupid, and that's exactly what they want. They want you to be talking politics. They want you to be. Are we ever going to come to a place where we agree? Like, you know what? This person said this, I'm going to change my mind. No, never. And it's not going to happen. If anything, people get more stubborn about where they stand and what they stand for. So all that shit, getting exhausted. Let's get into some fun facts. In case you didn't know. I only have 2 this week, but they're good ones. All right, here we go. These are your fun facts. In case you didn't know. In case you didn't know, we tend to perceive familiar routes as taking less time than routes that we're unfamiliar with. In other words, we live in Bakersfield. People who go to LA regularly, they think it's a hop, skip, and a jump. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to be totally honest about this. I feel like LA has never felt like a short drive. And I know it's 1 hour, about an hour and a half, depending on where you're going, maybe 2, again, depending on where you're going. But oh my goodness, I do not like driving to LA. It's not long. Like if you like an hour and a half, not long, but it feels so long. It's always felt that way. But when I talk to all my friends and all my people, all my relatives, my friends, family, whatever, they always say like, oh, LA is just quick. It's worth it. It's beautiful. I love LA. But damn, like for some reason, that drive has never felt short to me. But everybody tells me like, oh my God, it's just, so like you get 20, 30 minutes before you even hit the mountains. Then the mountains feel like they take forever to get through. And then depending on where you're going is going to take you to, and if you hit traffic, Lord, You're in for a full day. But anyways, we perceive familiar routes as taking less time, and it's called the well-traveled road effect. In case you didn't know, reading has been proven to reduce stress, increase empathy, and boost creativity. In case you didn't know, what does pretending to read do for you? Does it do it? Is there any like placebo effect to that? Because I'll post a book. I'll post a book that I've never read. I'll post a book that I've never had any intention of reading. But I'm like, you know what? Makes me feel smarter. It makes people think that I'm going to read it. There's got to be some sort of placebo effect. Oh, you're like, Vic, you're crazy. Well, a lot of people do it. Trust me. You'd be surprised. Ask somebody about that book that they posted about and watch them. Oh, they'll be scrambling. Okay, here's a cool thing. So during my little burnout session, I'm crashing out. I'm going crazy. A good thing happened. And this is how I knew it was burned out at the same time. So a good thing happened. So I lost so it's strange because it's just me telling you about my personal stuff at home. But I have a Fire Stick that I watch, obviously, like a lot of you guys. You watch your Netflix, you watch your Hulu, whatever you watch. You have all the apps on your Fire Stick, as do I. And the remote that I use to control the Fire Stick, I always was able to control the volume. I don't know what happened, if there was an update or something, but I can no longer control the volume on the Fire Stick remote. It's the strangest thing. So it's really annoying. Long story short, for months, I've avoided watching TV altogether. The only thing I'll turn on is Thursday Night Football. I'll stream Thursday Night Football. Then I set the volume at whatever, and then but like nighttime TV to fall asleep or anything like that. So great news! A couple days ago, I found the true remote. I was doing laundry and I found the true remote for the TV, and now I can control the volume again. Because it's really annoying to try to fall asleep to something that you can't hear. But then if it's too loud, there's TV spikes up, or you're like, those scenes, or you're like an explosion or a car crash or something like that. And then you're waking up and you're like, this is too much. I need to be able to control it, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I'm going to watch so much TV now. I just can't, folks. And this is not a brag, because this is something that I really want to do. I think it'd actually be really good for me. But this is how I knew I was burnt out. I was like, I'm gonna watch TV. This will help me relax. This will help me, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm in there and I'm watching, like whatever, and I'm controlling the volume. And all I could think about in the back of my head is like, you lazy piece of shit. You could be working on another video right now. And I try to tell myself, I'm like, you know what? Sit back, relax, enjoy this. But in the back of my head somewhere, it creates like this anxiety where it's like, I'm relaxing. The only time I could truly relax and get out of it is when I'm out of my routine. For example, if I leave town, if I'm on vacation, if I'm golfing, if I'm doing something, and I feel like it's been a while since I had like a really like big trip. I haven't done a lot of hiking, haven't done a lot of things that kind of made me feel good for a very long time. And it's because I've been focused on this. So it's a double-edged sword. It's allowed us to be really consistent, but it's also like maybe doing more of those things are the step that I need to do the things that I need to do to get back into it, because I don't talk about it much. I don't talk about it on social media all that much, but hell, I have a podcast. And the cool thing about it is that I know that I'm not alone in this. And I think you're driving around, you're at the gym, you're doing whatever you're doing. And there's a lot of you guys who feel exactly what I'm saying. This is just my version of the burnout. And I think it's a relatable version to anybody who's starting a business. Coffee business, plumbing business. You always feel like I need to be doing more. You're like, what's relaxing? Relaxing means you're not doing enough. Riley Green got voted the hottest. So I don't know how legitimate this is, but I've seen it come around a couple like news cycles. And Taste of Country posted this, so I was good enough for me. They're pretty legit when it comes to country music. And I don't know how big this is. Maybe a smaller award, but it was like people voted on who the hottest country artist is. And it came down to like Cody Johnson, Riley Green, Shabuzi. I believe there may have been one more. But Riley Green is absolutely the correct answer. Riley Green, Sam Hunt hasn't been relevant enough lately. But this made me happy, and let me explain why. Because I'm tired of the crap that they were doing. Remember, it was like Blake Shelton, hottest man. Like Blake Shelton, great artist, great person. I don't know the guy. Like whatever. Great music, great artist. Don't take anything away from that. But I remember the People magazine, Sexiest Man, like lost all credibility when they did that. I'm sorry. Are there people whom I find attractive? Yes, there's freaks everywhere. But when it comes to an objective, like sexiest man alive or sexiest man in country music in whatever genre, Riley Green is absolutely the correct answer. And I'm comfortable enough in my own skin to come on here and tell you that Riley Green is absolutely the bro is chiseled. Bro can sing. Bro's got the hair. When he plays guitar, you can see his biceps. You can see his veins. You can see he's a good looking dude. Riley Green's the correct answer. And it only makes me happy because I'm tired of the whole Blake Shelton crap. It needs to get colder in Bakersfield. I turned on my AC this week and I'm like, well, this isn't fun. We're coming up on almost November. And it was, remember a couple of days ago, like a couple weeks ago, the wind and the cold came fast. And then we have a joke in Bakersfield where it's like, it's that time of year where you leave the house with a hoodie or a sweater. And then by noon, you're wearing like a tank top. It's kind of how it is. We're in that time of the year. Let's get into our Wednesday Wisdom conversation to wrap this up. I'm gonna read this for you, and I wish I had like the proper answer. The only thing I will say is that I've seen this, I felt this, I've experienced this, and I don't know what the correct answer is. So please help us. Vic, this is written from a guy, a husband. My wife and I are former college athletes. We live a pretty healthy life. Last year, we welcomed our first baby. Congratulations. I'm experiencing my nephew, I think, I feel like in a completely different way. He's only a couple weeks old, but congratulations on that. Naturally, wife doesn't feel as good about herself with the changes. She constantly complains about her image, and it's starting to concern me a little bit. It's a lack of action that she's willing to take. Before you freak out, ladies, let me finish. She says she wants to lose blank amount of pounds. We create a plan and she doesn't have the same motivation as before. We'll do it 1 or 2 days, maybe a week, and then reverts back to lack of motivation and discipline, the one thing we've always been great at. She's perfect in my eyes. So in other words, he's saying like, I didn't tell her she needs to change anything. She is unhappy with her image. But she complains and I offer my help and we get nowhere. Then she complains about not feeling good about herself. What advice would you or your listeners give in this case? This is crazy. Listen, I'm very like cut and dry and blunt about this because it's almost like you can think about this when you apply this to. So in this situation, it's a wife. And she just had a kid. Obviously, women go through changes in body that you don't have the same body that you did before. And no one expects it. Like this guy's not saying my wife gained weight and I want her to lose it. That's a different conversation. This is his wife not being happy and not being satisfied, asking for help, him offering the help, and then she doesn't go through with it. And then he's like, okay, look, that's fine. You could stay however you are. I don't think you need to change anything. And then she gets mad and she's like, okay, so then let's do something. Let's do something about it. If you're not happy with yourself, I'm going to help you. We're going to do something about it. And then she doesn't do anything. So what do you do? I don't know what the correct answer is. I'm very blunt when it comes to this stuff. In my experiences, I'm like, if you're not happy with something, it's time to change it. And this doesn't just have to do with relationships. This has to do with work. If I came to you and said, hey, bro, or hey, honey, I'm not happy at my job. I want to change my job. And then you're like, okay, let's look at jobs. Let's get you on Indeed. Let's refresh that that resume. Let's start making some phone calls. And you're like, nah, I don't want to do it. Yeah, I don't want to go through all that. You'd be like, okay, then stop complaining about it. If you're not willing to do the work, then don't complain about it. Stay miserable at the job that you hate. She's clearly unhappy in her body and she's not willing to do the job, which is fine. But then you also lose your privilege of complaining about it. I don't know what, like, if I was unhappy, I think that's the perfect example. I'm not happy in my relationship. You go to your girlfriends, you go to your buddies, and you're like, I'm not happy in my relationship. He or she cheated. He or she's not doing it for me. We're not happy. They don't put in the effort. They don't do anything. You're like, okay, well, eventually, there's going to be a time where you need to take action and leave this person. I don't want to go through all that. Okay, then don't complain about it. I think the pregnancy thing makes it really a really sensitive topic to talk about. So I want to eliminate the pregnancy aspect of it because I know that women go through changes and their life is just completely turned upside down when it comes to their body, especially if they've been in shape their entire life and they loved who they are and what they've done and worked hard to earn. So I want to talk about this in work terms. If I tell you that I'm unhappy with my job and you tell me, let's create a resume, let's get you on Indeed, let's make some phone calls, let's get you online. Let's send some emails. And then you say, I don't really feel like it. Are you going to be like, okay, well, let's try something else. But if I'm telling you like, I don't want to do it, then you're going to tell me to shut the fuck up and be like, all right, then quit complaining if you're not willing to do the work to change your job that you hate. So I'm curious to hear the advice. I don't know. I really don't know. I would say patience. Reiterating, I don't know. If someone's not willing to help themselves, I don't have that very like, it's like you tell me you want change and I'm going to make time to help you change. I'm going to create a plan. We're going to create a workout plan, an eating plan, a meal plan. You want to change? I'm here to help you and I'm here to support you. Then you don't do those things. Well, then don't complain to me. How much more cut and dry can it get? I want to help you achieve those things, and I'm going to help you achieve those things. If you're not willing to do the work, that's the only way to do it, baby. So I want to hear, this cannot be a situation unique to these people, and I feel like it's a relatable thing, especially when you go through big changes like having a baby. So, yeah, I want advice on this as well. Let's wrap up our show. A little late night trivia. Here we go. Late night trivia to wrap up our show. Half of Americans believe they can confidently do this in an emergency. Half of Americans believe they can do this in an emergency. I think I could do it. I'm not going to lie to you. I think in an emergency, no doubt. Here comes the answer. If you want to pause, if you want more time, you want to ask around, whatever. Half of Americans believe they can confidently do this in an emergency. Deliver a baby. Deliver a baby. And that's only because of adrenaline. That's only because there's some kind of instinct, especially if it's my baby. Could you imagine, the people say, there's these motherly instincts, parental instincts and all that. I feel like that would kick in. I'm not sure how I would do it. If you asked me to do it right now, I'd be like, I don't know. But if the moment came, if someone was in front of me and I had to do it, I would find a way. And I couldn't tell you why. That's as far as we go. But maybe we're all just kind of a little I also believe I could fly a plane in an emergency. So I couldn't tell you. Folks, thank you guys for locking in on another episode. I Love You Say It Back as a podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening on Apple, on Spotify, if you're checking us out on YouTube, big shout out YouTube. The last couple of videos have been doing pretty good, so check us out on there. Happy Halloween. I want to see those costumes. I might pop up with someone on Halloween as well. And then until next time, till Sunday, I love you. Say it back. Y'all have a great night. Sleep good. Peace.